beautiful people, and welcome. In this video, we are talking about slope and how to find slope given the 2 points. Now, you are always welcome to graph the 2 points and find the slope the other way off of the graph using Rise Over Run. However, graph paper is not always available, and doing it by hand, you're running the risk of making silly hiccups or silly mistakes. So we're going to use the slope formula. I'm going to go ahead and write the formula up top, and that is little m, lowercase m, and this little m just represents slope. So instead of writing the word slope, we're going to write little m. And here is our formula. Now this is the setup you always want to have. You want to have bubble minus bubble, bubble minus bubble. So inside your bubbles, you have y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. All right, let's go ahead and use that formula to solve for slope in the first example. So in the first example, it's asking us to find the slope given -3 and 4 and 5 and 7. So this point right here is a relationship between -3 and 4. This point right here is a relationship between 5 and 7. So we're going to label them. I have x1, so I'm walking and I see my first x. I have to give them a reason why I am no longer with them. I keep walking, seeing my second x. I have to give them my second reason why I am no longer with them. I'm going to go ahead and start with my setup. Always start with the setup. Little m equal to, didn't mean to move the paper. Bubble minus bubble, bubble minus bubble. And the reason we're doing that is because if you don't put your bubbles in, you're going to forget that minus in the middle, especially if you have negatives. So let's go ahead and compare this to our formula. So in the first bubble, I am putting my y2. I'm actually going to write that above. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And that is an x, not a y. So inside this bubble, I'm putting my y2, which is 7. Here I'm putting my y1, which is 4. x2 goes in this bubble, which is 5. And x1 goes in this bubble, which is a -3. Notice that now we have two negatives in the denominator that are next to each other. Anytime you have two negatives next to each other, that does equal positive. This is why it is super important to have bubbles, or else you're going to forget that extra negative. So I'm going to rewrite this on top. I have 7 minus 4 on top, and on the bottom I have 5 minus a -3. Here we have two negatives next to each other. Again, if you can circle it, and you can write a plus. And one more time, I have 7 minus 4 over 5 plus 3. 7 minus 4 is 3. And 5, 6, 7, 8. And then here you can simplify the fraction if you can. If you cannot, you leave it. And that is your slope. Or you can say little m. All right, let's do another one. Find the slope of the given points. Again, step number 1 is always label the points. x1, y1, x2, y2. Write out your setup. So little m is equal to bubble minus bubble, bubble minus bubble. And we're going to do our formula. y2 minus y1, x2, x1. And let's do our bubbles inside. So x2 is 10, x1 is, oh, that's a y1, excuse me. So y2 is 10, y1 is -1, x2, where's x2 is 7, x1 is -2. Now here, notice we do have two negatives twice. I have a 10 minus a -1, and I have 7 minus a -2. Again, anytime you see two negatives next to each other, they have to be next to each other, and you have to be able to circle them. If you cannot circle them, that does not mean you have a plus. So I have 10 plus 1, and here I have 10 plus 2. So 7, 8, 9 is on the bottom, and 11 is on top. Again, simplify if you can. If you cannot, that is your answer, and that is your slope. All right, let's do another example. This time, that should be example number 3. I think I mislabeled them. This one here is once again a review question. It's asking you to find the slope. However, they did not give you 2 points. So you don't have to use the formula. You can go back to our original method. You can use rise over run, or you can use the formula. It is up to you. You are choosing to use a formula. You have to identify what those 2 points are. You can choose whatever 2 points you want that are on the line. If they give you a graph, you guys don't even bother with the formula. Just do rise over run. And in this case, they give us points. So I'm going to choose these 2 points. Again, we're going to go up and over, up and over. So I'm going up. So my rise is 2. My over, going left 3. So for my rise over run, I go up 2, I run 3, but the slope is going downhill. Remember our little vehicle? Here's our car, and it's going downhill. So that means your slope is negative. And you can tell that it's going to be negative because when you go to the left, you're going towards the smaller numbers. Notice 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going towards the smaller number. So that means it's going to be a negative 3. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. You can rewrite this slope 3 different ways. You can do 2 over negative 3, or you can do negative 2/3, or you can do negative 2/3. As long as you only have one negative, it doesn't really matter where that negative is. It tells the reader that the slope is going downhill or the slope is negative. All right, beautiful people, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot about slope and slope formula, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!